welcome to the Earth to Marissa podcast. Today we are at the mothership that is my parents' home. We are here today recording because I had to bring my car down to our regular shop, the shop that we love, and so we're here. We are here and we're still making it work. So today, we're just going to dive into this pattern that has continued to present itself in my life, has continued to really, it's just beating myself into the ground is the pattern, really. And we're just going to do some self-inquiry, and I think it's really cool to witness someone do self-inquiry because it opens up the doorway to see into someone else's reality and how they understand themselves and work with themselves in spiritual work. And that's the whole theme of the podcast, sharing personal stories of growth and development in hopes that it will help you through your own personal growth and development. And I think self-inquiry is a huge aspect of growing, of developing, of, just turning into that new human frequency, new earth frequency. You gotta go through all the trauma. And Sun Psychic Jean was on the podcast this past week. If you haven't seen that episode, oh my goodness, it was so lovely to chat with a fellow psychic and medium, and just to hear her encounters with clients and paranormal phenomena, and also to talk about consciousness, what consciousness is, how it's rising, and what you can do to jumpstart your own awakening and rising with consciousness, your own consciousness. And one of the biggest aspects that she mentioned, and that I always mention too, is to start doing the inner work. Open your box of the big T's, trauma, and check it out. Look at your patterns. Look at, what has occurred in your life that you're still holding. Look at the people that you may need to release, and why do you need to release them? Let's flow through that. We have all of these bubbles of stagnant energy from these past traumas. And if you don't, well, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. But if you're human, you most likely have some kind of thing. It may not be as dramatic of the word that trauma is, if that makes sense. I feel like when people hear trauma, it's like, oh my God, you've really been through it. But even just an encounter with a mean kid in elementary school can be, categorized under that. Even, a murky kind of relationship with one of your parents can be put under that umbrella. It's time to just look at this, see how it has affected us, see how it has shaped us, and to move forward. So we're going to be doing that today. With one of my own patterns that I have been noticing coming up, and it's just driving me insane, and I'm fucking sick of it. Okay, I'm fucking sick of running myself into the ground and not taking care of my nervous system, my energy, my body, my emotional well-being. It's bringing me to tears right now because I keep ignoring myself, and that is just not a way to live life. Your body is why you are here. This vessel that carries you is so vital and important to your soul's work here on earth. And it is time that we stop ignoring our bodies, our bodies, and get in tune, get in touch, especially if you are a female or you are a I don't know the term, born female. It's so important to get in touch with our moon cycles, to understand the emotions that flow through us, the energies of the maiden, mother, wild woman, crone archetypes, and how we are moving through that 4-cycle period every single month. Every single month we are learning something. And right now I am in that, I want to say mother is luteal. I literally just read about this. Yeah, because I think maiden is like follicular, wild woman is ovulatory, mother is luteal, and then crone is the shedding, your period. I want to say that's right. But I'm in my late luteal phase right now, so of course I'm feeling emotional. And if you don't know these words and you are someone with female body, then definitely check it out. Do a quick Google, do a quick YouTube, do a quick Instagram search, and educate yourself. I could make a video, and I might make a video, but also like that's not really I'm in tune with it for my own well-being. But yeah, do your own research. But luteal phases are definitely the place where your body, your hormones have changed, your body is preparing to shed. When you access the luteal, that is like the phase where your body's like, oh, okay, there is no egg, or there is no sperm that activated the egg, and it's time to shed. It's time to get rid of it. It's time to let it go. And this is a beautiful phase because I feel like in the luteal phase, and kind of what I'm receiving right now, is like when it's what needs to go starts to present. So then when you do start shedding and bleeding, it can be released. And so doesn't it just make all the sense as to why this is being presented in my luteal phase, in my mother phase, right before I am shedding? And I'm pretty sure I literally, like, my period should start in like three days, question mark. So that's where we're at. We are also very emotional and tender. PMSing happens during your luteal phase. So if you're feeling bloated, if you're feeling agitated, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're craving chocolate and baths, you're probably about to start your period. And you are in your luteal phase. So it's just beautiful to get in tune with your body. And I have noticed lately that, yes, like I'm aware of all these things. However, I am not implementing this knowledge to take care of myself. It's as simple as that. I'm choosing to ignore the signs that my body is giving me to sit down, to stop, to rest, to take a breath, to eat. Like, I hear it so clearly because I have organized the voices in my head. When you're a medium and you're a psychic and you hear a lot of things, you have very clear audience, one of the biggest things you can do is start to organize the voices that you hear in your head, because sometimes it's your ego, sometimes it's your body, sometimes it's your emotions. Every single thing that you interact with has energy, and that energy can talk to you. And so categorizing it, kind of, I don't want to say compartmentalizing, but I guess that's kind of the vibe. Just like, okay, who is coming forward right now? Is that an underworld spirit? Is that a, like, loved one trying to come through for someone that's in my environment? Okay, is that my higher self? Is that source? Is, like, source came through for me the other day very strongly, and I'm so grateful for that. And so just kind of identifying the voices, and you can do this by really sitting with those voices in your head, really sitting in silence, and when something comes forward, you ask what it is. Sometimes it's just anxiety running through. Sometimes it's your brain processing. It's your emotions trying to process what is going on. Sometimes it's your ego, and it's that pattern or that belief that you were told when you were a little child. Sometimes it is an underworld spirit trying to fuck with you. As simple as that. Fuck with you, and they caught on to a little bit of fear that has been running, and that's their way in, and then they can talk in your ear, and you can just send them to the light. So you ask when you hear a voice come forward. I think it's pretty normal. I have a coworker, actually. She does not hear voices in her head, and she's like a very small percentage of the population who doesn't like have thoughts running in her head, and that is just wild to me. I can't imagine. Couldn't imagine. However, I do know that, like, I told her, I was like, you probably have a deep and beautiful gift running through you because you don't have that going on. I was like, you probably experience the world very differently. And also, when one of our sensitivities, so let's say clairaudience, is kind of offline, and she says she doesn't see things either. She doesn't see things in her head. So maybe her third eye, when those are kind of like maybe offline, like other things are very online because the energy has to go elsewhere. The energy must move into another form of sensitivity. You can't lose energy. It just takes a different form. And so, yes, getting to do this, just ask and you will receive who it is. And then you get to guide. And so I've been hearing my body a lot lately while I'm at work. I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not. Okay. I've been hearing my body a lot at work, telling me to stop, to slow down, like, please eat something, please sit down. And it's really hard to be in an environment where sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can't sit down because we constantly have customers coming in, or I'm the only one there and we have to be doing things. And the work environment, it needs changed. It needs changed. And this is Spirit's way of putting me in a position to stand up for myself. And I understand that soul lesson because it has been a pattern. If you are wondering what you're meant to learn in your life, start dissecting what has already occurred. And I see this occurring pattern where I am put in a position on a team where I then take it all on. I take everything on. It happened in my last job. It's happening in this job. And I try to do everything by myself. And in my last job, I rarely asked for help because I was the only one in charge of, the interior system. Yes, I could have asked for help. I definitely could have. And I saw that after the fact. I decided to take on all that effort. I decided to take on all those tasks by myself. I decided to make it stress me out, to allow it to stress me the fuck out. And I also allowed it to, make me feel like there was so much weight on my shoulders. And truly, it was a lot. I was in charge of a 100 square feet conservatory by myself because, of course, we were understaffed. I didn't like one of my coworkers. Awful. I'm pretty sure I've talked about that. So I didn't want to be around them. Like, I would avoid asking them for help because no thank you. And then the other two were just not, like, they had their own jobs to do there. And so I did feel alone other than volunteer help. However, I didn't have to do all the things that I did. I really didn't. I was the only one choosing to take it all on. I could have let things go overgrown a little to give myself some grace. I could have, not done all of the revamping and remapping and replanting and, the care that I did put into it. I put so much care into that place that it burnt me the heck out. But I was the only one that was choosing to do that. And I will say, though, there were a lot of voices coming at me like, well, the old person used to do it this way. The old person would have had this done by now. Well, it's coming this season and the old person, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my God, could you shut the fuck up and leave me the heck alone? Because I'm doing the best that I can as a single person taking care of this entire fucking place. And I'm sorry, but this is the luteal sass coming out right now because, a girl can only do so much. Period. You can only do so much. And your well-being, the care for your body, for your energetic state, for your mental clarity, overweighs anything that you have to do at a job. And this is pouring through me as a message to you, but also as a message to myself. Because you are the most important. Nothing else could be more important than you. And I don't know who else needs to hear this, but it is coming through strong. And I feel like a lot of people, especially in America, need to fucking hear this. Because Americans are not taught to take care of themselves. They are taught to go and go and go and work and work and work and to give your life away to someone else so you can just live. The human consciousness has been enslaved by the powers that were on the planet, okay? And this is part of the enslavement. And I do not say that lightly because it's true. We are born on this planet, and that gives us a birthright to the resources on this planet, to live freely on this planet. And so far in humanity, it has not been that. We have to pay to exist here on the very place we were born. We have to give and not really receive much back to just exist. And I'm fucking sick of it. I am so tired of it. And I know my soul and your soul feels this exhaustion. We weren't meant to live like this. And it is changing. It is fully changing. And we're in the thick of it, y'all. We are in the thick of it, y'all. And we are making moves. And that's why we feel this way. We feel this way because we are meant to make a difference. But you gotta put your body first and foremost. And so at my current job, of course, I am seeing this similar pattern where we are short-staffed. And I am assistant manager, and so I get relied on a lot. And I'm left alone at work a lot because we are, like I said, understaffed. And it is too much. It's just too much for my nervous system. And I'm to the point where I'm going to start sending customers away. Sorry, can't help you. I've got 7 orders. I'm doing my best. Online orders keep coming. And I haven't eaten. I also haven't peed. I haven't drank water. And I'm about to cry. So see ya. Bye. Have a good day. Literally that's the energy. And I am just wondering why. I definitely know that part of this I don't know, this teaching this pattern is definitely to help me to advocate for myself. And I am in a position where I do have an amazing boss. Like, the owner is amazing. Love her to pieces. And she's doing the best she can as well with what she's got. And I see that. And I do honor that. And I do feel safe coming to her and advocating for myself. So I'm grateful for that up level. Grateful for that shift in this pattern. I can see this pattern is like, you know that you have done work in certain areas when the pattern doesn't exactly match the last. When it really drastically like looks the same, it means you probably haven't done any work. And that second time around, or that fifth time around, or that 10th time around, if it is still looking exactly the same, homie, it's time to change something. It is time to change if you have dated a fifth person in a row who treats you the exact same as that first person did. And you're still winding up in the same old situations, the same old patterns. It's time to switch something up. It's time to look in yourself and be like, why do I keep attracting abusive partners that have this and this in common? It's time to look at yourself and gently do that. Gently look at your life. Gently look at, okay, what is the soul message here? And if you aren't sure where to start by yourself, I would recommend get a reading. Get a Reiki session, go to therapy. There are so many resources to help you. Look into the work by Byron Katie. I talk about her a lot because it really shifted my life. And look at, just all the different avenues to healing, rapid eye movement, tapping, there's so much, but yoga even. But definitely what a reading can do for you, or even an intuitive guidance session can do for you, is to help pinpoint the pattern so then you can look deeper into it. Because I will say, if you are new to this spiritual journey, it will kind of like, you might not be sure. You might not be sure if you don't have that outside guidance. I definitely had outside guidance when I started opening all my boxes and taking a gander into them. But so back to the patterns. I've noticed this pattern. The first time it happened in the workplace, it was at a job that I had in 2021. And I took it all on. I didn't speak for myself. It was really bad. Had a weird fallout. Like, not good. And then, fast forward to my last job, very similar pattern. Did a lot of work to clear stuff from that first experience, I believe, and did a ton of healing in between them. And so it was a little bit different. However, it was very similar because I had not chosen to advocate for myself, to try and shift my perspective, to, release this weight. And I noticed that at my last job, and I was like, okay, let's do that. And so it's coming up again. And this time it has some different energies. There's a lot of other energies, like the body taking care of. I was taking care of my body back then, but I think energetic maintenance, not so much. But yes, so this pattern, it's a little different now, and it's because I have done the work. I have done a lot of work towards it, and now I see, like, okay, this is the last time I get to experience this. What do I need to do, Spirit, in order to stop this pattern? And you know what? I'm going to ask right now, because this is the self-inquiry that I was talking about, and I want to share it with you all so you can do it. So I'm going to quiet my mind. And I'm just going to go to my higher self for this. Higher self, I have noticed this pattern coming through of needing to advocate for myself. And this is a reoccurring pattern that I've noticed in my jobs in regards to taking on so much and feeling like I am drowning in the workplace. What can I do to no longer experience this pattern? So immediately I hear patience with myself. You must show yourself grace and compassion for the environment that you have attracted into your life. You've attracted these specific environments because your soul is working out this beautiful, they're calling it a masterpiece of evolution. You are working out this masterpiece of evolution, and to grow through this, you must listen. You must listen. You must make a different action, and instead of ignoring, you must sit down when it does not feel like you can sit down. You must show up when it feels like you don't want to show up in your life outside of work. You must stop fighting your body when it is telling you to do something. You are going against the grain of your intuition, and this is really a lesson within your intuition. It is following it even if it feels like you should not follow it, and with this you are strengthening your own intuition, and this is a very big part of this mastery, of this evolution. Your intuition is calling you in these stressful moments and is asking you to pay attention. And so this is really a muscle exercise for this part of your being. But this is also something to really exercise your throat chakra and to make a difference, to receive help. This is part of a receiver mastery force as well. To receive help and to allow yourself to be held. You are very headstrong, you are very stubborn, and it is time for you to let go. To let go and to do only what your body, your mind, your emotions, and your spirit want to do, can do in the time that you are at this place. So that is kind of how I tap in. And if you're new to talking to these voices in your head, these different spirits and aspects of your being, it might feel a little weird at first. What really helped me was to consciously journal, conscious stream journal, and just to let it out, to ask a question to the journal and just start writing, and you'll kind of feel when it feels like someone else is writing for you. And it might take a few times, but to just trust what comes forward. Because no matter how many psychics you see, no matter how many readings you get, no matter how many spiritual healing, blah, 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 blahs, and therapists you see, you always remain the most connected to yourself. You will always have the strongest connection to yourself. And so it's about starting to build that, starting to grow that. And then, like my higher self said, listen to it, bitch. Listen to it. Okay? When you fucking hear it, listen to it. Oh, Marissa. And it breaks my heart, really. It breaks my heart. And I was crying last night about this. And I actually, as a meditation coach, it's weird and funny to say, I had a panic attack last night. The first panic attack I've had probably in like 7 years, maybe. I used to get them growing up a lot because I avoided my emotions. And then when it all came out, y'all, and it took over me. And it was pent up, built up emotions trying to release all at once, which of course would send the body into hyperventilation. And that happened last night. Because when I say my nervous system felt so fried, y'all, like I got home and like literally I don't even know how to describe it. My nervous system was like buzzing, but like not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. And like I just felt so depleted and so exhausted. And I had tried to eat well throughout the day, but we were so busy, and I tried to, sit when I could, but again, we were so busy, and I needed to be held. And so my partner came in and held me, and when he held me, I just started crying, and like I couldn't turn it off. Usually I'm really good about when emotions want to release. I allow them and I let them, and it comes through in a fluid state, and it may last like a few minutes, and then it's good. And like I constantly am like letting the valve kind of open and close on my emotions, because I'm usually very in tune with my emotions and very just available emotionally for myself and for others. And that has just not been the case lately. I have not taken a moment to breathe. I have been feeling so exhausted, so I've been skipping all meditation just so I can sleep at night and in the morning. And then through the day, I'm moving and grooving all freaking day. And so I'm not breathing. And so it led to this very pent up emotion and anger towards self, sadness, like my body, like it literally felt like all of my entire being was crying. And my friend, I told her what happened, and she was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. You're a Pisces sun. The sun is in Pisces, and also it was a Pisces new moon. And that's when it happened. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's probably why I kept getting visions during the panic attack of me in this void of dark, deep waters fucking gushing around and moving around, and water is just keeping and pouring through the like top of the void, and I'm just like trying to swim and like like catch my breath. Oh my goodness. It was super intense, super duper intense, and I have empathy, great empathy, and I feel like this happened for kind of a long list of reasons. Like my body's biggest way of saying, hey girl, if you don't start listening to me, if you don't start like actually taking care of yourself, we got a problem here, okay? that was definitely a big reason. But I think another reason, I am living with someone right now that suffers from panic attacks, and it's easy to kind of look at them and their habits and judge hard. And I've talked about this too on the podcast. But I want to show empathy for this person, and I've been trying to understand and detach from just their life, and because it really has nothing to do with me. But they've said some things, and without having experienced a panic attack in a really long time, it was hard for me to like understand what they were saying. But now that I just did experience that, I'm like, oh yeah, it is like that. It is like that. And like, I apologize for the judgment. Like, if you are truly going through that, which I'm not sure if they are, or anyways, yeah, I bring back that judgment, transmute it, and I want to show empathy. And that, it too, is what it means to be a human. How can we move through our experiences and allow our experiences and hardships to be a form of empathy for the other people who might be going through those things, who might be experiencing that way of life right now? We must hold empathy for one another. And the biggest thing that Spirit kept saying, when I was moving through all of that detachment work with that person that I live with, Spirit was saying, this is just a soul who is forgotten. This is a soul who has forgotten where they come from. This is a soul who has forgotten how much light is held within them and how much beauty this life can hold. And how can we, yes, show empathy. Show empathy for ourselves and for the other when experiencing this. But I will say, it is very strange. Like, I thought, I don't know, I never thought that would ever happen since I got into meditation, but I haven't been meditating. This is also the most disconnected I have been from nature in over 2 years, probably 3 years actually. I have worked in horticulture. I also traveled for a bit, and my home was state parks because I was living out of a car, doing the whole van life situation. And yeah, this is the most disconnected I've been from Mother Earth, and that really hit me strongly too after the panic attack. I was just like trying to ground, and I like reached up for my like plants on my shelf, and I was like, please hold me while I hold you. And I was just like holding this like tendril of a trailing jade, and like I could feel it reaching out and like trying to support me. And I was like, I need more. Like, I need to be surrounded by plants right now. And like a wave hit me of realization, like, I really haven't connected with nature literally at all in like freaking, I don't know, 5 months, because it's been so cold and freezing. But the sun is out today, and it's 60 degrees on a whim in February. Who knew she could fly like that? Thank God. So I'm gonna go out and sit with the trees today. But anyways, yes, so I don't even know where I was. I'm just kind of going at this point. Let me gather my thoughts. Spirit, where should we go from here? So with the self-inquiry, when we notice these patterns, it's vital that I feel like you get them out onto paper, or you speak about them. Because the more you are able to process the information, the experiences outside of you, I feel like you are better than able to have a greater picture of what's truly going on. What's really going on? What's repeating here? If you can like put a list of like these similar experiences and then find the in-betweens and also find the differences, I feel like that is how you will be able to find what you need to work on and what you need to move. And so with this certain situation at work, you know, I'm taking the action. I'm going to advocate for myself. I'm going to potentially step back and be like, you know what, actually, I don't want this much role in this place. I need to take care of myself. Or, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out even what I would say, but I know for sure almost say it. I'm gonna advocate for myself, and I'm going to try and help us figure out a more cohesive structure to the staff that we have and how we can streamline things, especially as we start to get busier. And then two, I'm gonna allow other people to help me. It's time to let go of the attitude where I have to do it all. It's time to let go of the attitude where it feels like I'm the only one who can do these things. I'm going to lean on my support system. I'm going to let go. I'm going to lean on my partner. And, you know, I had another friend mention this because I was like, yeah, I would love if my partner, like, I don't know, showed up for me in these different ways. And she was like, well, do you let him? Yeah, but do you let him? And I'm like, no. I just end up doing them. She's like, okay, so you want him to show up, but there's actually no space for him to show up? And I'm like, okay, girl, thank you for calling me out. Thank you for respecting me and also helping me grow. If we want change, if we want something to happen, we must create the space for it to happen, okay? And so, yeah, how can we free up that space and just receive? I really resonated with what my higher self said. This is I can't even remember, was it Mastery of Evolution? I'm going to listen to it back, but I love what they said about the mastery of receiving, because this is so, so true. And I feel like this isn't just in the workplace. This is something that has also showed up in my relationships, sexually, physically, intimately, and like in all the ways. I think being such an independent person and an independent woman, it's easy for me to just do everything on my own. It's easy for me to have that Aries, Moon, Leo rising attitude and just fucking bulldoze through everything and feel like I could do it all. But I'm tired. I am tired and I need to rest, and I can no longer do that. It's no longer satisfying me, and it's no longer beneficial for my well-being. So I'm going to allow myself to be cared for in a lot of different ways and create the space to receive help and also ask for help. There is this other pattern within me, and it might be within you too, where you're doing something and you wish other people would help, but you don't actually communicate that you want help, and then you get pissed at them for not immediately knowing that you needed help or that you wanted that thing, and you just expected them to read your mind, and then you're like upset when they don't actually do it because you were hoping they would just do it on their own. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. And the more you assume that someone is just gonna do something that you want on your own without telling them, girl, get in line. Get yourself in line and just ask. Just ask. And then it might happen. And so I'm going to do that. And with this anger and kind of sadness that I feel towards self as to just continuing to run myself into the ground, I'm just going to hold myself. And when you've noticed that you are doing a pattern of any kind, the last thing you need to do is to be hard on yourself. Because we are all doing what we can with what we have and how we've learned from our past. And sometimes the past sneaks into the present, but we get to acknowledge and stay in the present when we catch ourselves. And to, just hold deep, deep compassion for ourselves and for our heart spaces and for the love that we are. When we do acknowledge these patterns, and then we get to choose differently. It's about being met with whatever it is and choosing differently each time. Being met, choose differently. Being met, choose differently. And again, these old patterns might seep in like mine have. But this is the human experience. This is what it means to evolve. Sometimes you don't learn it the first way around. Sometimes you're not fully aware the first time, or the second time, or the 5th time, or the 60th time. Sometimes you're just not aware, and that's okay. But the more awareness we can have, the more we awaken. And I made a video on that recently. Check it out. I'll put it in the description. Where Spirit brought through that to be aware is to awaken. To be aware of yourself, to be aware of the other, to be aware of the energy that surrounds you at all times. That is really what it means to awaken, to remember. And so when we do have this awareness, okay, ease up on yourself. Gently hold yourself. Ask your body, ask your mind, ask your emotions, ask your spirit, what can I do for you right now? What can I do for you? And today I asked my nervous system. And, I did what it said. I took a morning sitting in the sun, which I have so greatly missed because it has been so cold. And I just sat there with my eyes closed and I did some healing box breathing. And if you are feeling that your nervous system is a little fired up, this is a breathing technique that really helps you to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calm state. If you start yawning, that means you're tapping in. And this breath is basically breathing in through your nose, filling up your entire diaphragm. And then breathing in again, filling up your entire chest. And then breathing in again, filling up your throat until you reach your nose. And then as you exhale through your mouth, you basically push all that energy out and push the energy down, grounding. And so it's kind of like I'm already yawning. Oh yeah. It feels amazing, and it's really good for your nervous system, really good for your body. And if so, and if you are feeling fried, definitely give that a go. And two, if you have just been feeling fried in general, exhausted, I want to talk about it's not just what's occurring in your environment now. Like, yes, it is, but also it's the solar flares. It's the craziness that is happening in the collective field right now. It is thousands of people waking up at the same time, and old structures that have been on this earth for many, many, many years collapsing. It is the changing, moving from old earth to new earth frequencies. It is so much greater than ourselves right now, which is why it is so important to take care of yourself. And I'm seeing the just the effects of not taking care of myself lately, and I understand that it is hitting extremely, extremely hard because there's so much more going on than we can see, but we feel it. We feel all of it. And so just be easy on yourself. Be easy on yourself. Start to look at the patterns. Stop pushing yourself as hard as you can go. Ease up and allow yourself to be held. Allow yourself to receive. Get in tune with your body. I'm going to make a video this week. This week's YouTube video will be how to connect with your body, mind, spirit, and emotions, and how to create a better connection with them. So definitely check that out. And I have some other videos too on my YouTube that I will link below, how to connect with your spirit guides and those voices in your head. And also just some activations and meditations that help with anxiety and that help with moving through the big T, trauma. So yes, just start to look, just be the gentle observer in your life. And when you notice something, choose differently, and those patterns will start to break with ease. They will start to break with ease, and you might not be fully out of them yet. But if you choose differently in this moment, you may not experience them ever again. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Much love to you. Much grace to you. And may you move through your day with love, peace, and kindness towards yourself. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.